Live from tape, pre-recorded at our studios in Austin, Texas, and Portland, Oregon, it's Syndicated with Lesley and Ben. Hey everyone, I'm the Ben of that.
And I'm the Lesley. This is a twice-monthly podcast about television genre and storytelling in which we watch an episode of a show and explore the history of television, one episode at a time.
We're joined today by longtime friend of the show and past guest Rachel Collins, who you may remember during our workplace comedy season when we covered both MASH and the Dick van Dyke Show. The latter part of that sentence is going to come back in just a second, but Rachel, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I've got my limoncello flavored bubble water, and I am sitting around ready to talk about a squirrely little man.
Which I have a question for Rachel. It's very important. Which brand is your bubble water?
So this happens to be LaCroix,
okay,
because it was the cheapest that they had at Costco.
Gotcha.
Because I'm embracing my middle age and renewed my Costco membership.
Very nice. Very nice. I just wanted to know.
And just one more thing. When you were at Costco, I'm a Polar man myself. That's my favorite bubbly beverage.
You know, they just now started getting Polar here.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, I've seen it in like Targets. But I don't like getting bubble water from Target because they only sell 8-packs rather than 12-packs. Like I said, I'm middle-aged.
Right. Man, Rambler's my bubble water for life.
Maybe mine was a West Coast thing and it's moving.
Yeah, maybe.
Nice. Forgive me if it never occurred to me. If you're just now joining us, we're talking about Columbo, the long-running detective serial that ran from 1968 to 2003 on both NBC and ABC. What started as one of the filler characters for the NBC mystery movie series became a hit with audiences who wanted just one more thing, more Columbo. The pilot episode of that murder mystery series was directed by a young TV director named Steven Spielberg, which is a wild thing to find out the day after I watched The Fabelmans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had no fucking
amazing.
clue.
Well,
I knew he was I knew his early TV work included Hogan's Heroes or whatever. I didn't know he fucking made Columbo.
Oh yeah,
he did a couple of Columbos.
Yeah, he did a couple of Columbos.
Fascinating.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg aside, Peter Falk plays the titular Lieutenant Columbo, the only star character of the show's entire run. Columbo is an unkempt, overworked, and flustered detective who uses his bubbling facade to cajole the various murderers into accidentally revealing key information about their relationship to the deceased, or how they done it. Falk's Columbo is sloppily dressed, brings up off-topic anecdotes, pretend he's trying not to impose, all until the murderer finally slips. Do we think that his wife is off topic though? Like I have a huge soft spot in my heart for Columbo's anecdotes about his wife specifically.
In the specific episode that we watched today, he tells Dick van Dyke that his dog is sad.
That was one of my favorite parts.
So I think that one was a little off topic.
Is excellent.
That his dog was sad because the Cocker Spaniel that he was in love with moved away.
That his dog is horny.
Yeah,
that
was the implication. Yeah.
Would like dog pornography, please.
Right. Peter Falk, of course, played the grandfather and narrator of the acclaimed Princess Bride adaptation by Rob Reiner, and worked alongside Elaine May and John Cassavetes in Mikey and Nicky.
Good movie, by the way, if you've never seen it.
I've never even heard of it.
Oh, it's a good one. He plays a.
But I love this man.
He plays a really low level mob guy who fears he's about to be killed. It's fun.
Wait.
In Mikey and Nicky?
Peter Falk plays that character?
Yeah.
I gotta watch this.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a fun 70s movie.
Oh shit, I'm watching it. Not right now. We're doing a podcast right now, but when we're done.
It's like one of Elaine May's 4 movies. It's really good. Well, anyway, I recommend it. The show breaks from other detective serials and procedurals on several levels. While the show aired relatively consistently through the 1970s, albeit with varying lengths of seasons, there was a 12-year gap between seasons 7 and 8, and the final season, which was filmed as a series of specials, took 13 years to air in totality. In addition, each episode of the show is far more structured like a television movie, with episodes frequently running over an hour long. And in this case, 115 minutes.
Yeah. It's it's a little movie. But as it did air serially on television, it's still a television show. Totally counts.
Oh, absolutely.
Just our little disclaimer here. I don't care. I mean, hey, it's a TV show.
If the show's about genre television and storytelling, we can't not talk about the television movie.
So true. Oh my God! What if put that feather in your hat?
Okay.
We should consider doing one on Just TV movies.
Oh yeah, sure. Why not? Let's watch a Disney Channel movie. That's all day of my time. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's like, I think there were Disney Channel movies out when I was young, but Disney Channel was premium cable.
Oh,
and, that wasn't what we were able to procure cable wise.
Man, remember premium cable?
Well, if you watch the I don't know if anyone here is a fan like me of Defunctland.
Oh, I love Defunctland.
No, it's great.
So did both of you watch the one that he just put out like a couple months ago about the Disney Channel theme?
Like Disney Channel stinger thing? I think what I love about Defunctland is I don't give half of a shit about any of the stuff that he talks about, but it's still so compelling and so well put together. And I'm like, sure, yeah, let's talk about like a roller coaster or a dark ride. I don't like amusement parks generally, and I kind of hate rides. Additionally, I'm very queasy.
I know, I understand. What I was gonna say with regards to Defunctland was just that he did this 90-minute long documentary on who composed the Disney Channel theme, and obviously brought up the history of the Disney Channel original movie and all that kind of stuff. But also, among other things, covered the weird, fascinating shift where the Disney Channel started off as a premium cable network that only existed to like rerun movies and cartoons that Disney had made in the past, and then like quickly switched, after not very long as a premium cable network, switched over to making original content and being available on like basic cable.
Got it.
That was all.
Okay, should we continue with the podcast now?
Yeah, I was just all I was bringing up was
sorry. No, it's my fault.
The transition, because someone said remember premium cable, and it's like, yeah, it's largely faded out except for like fucking stars or whatever.
Oh boy. All right.
That's all.
Anyway, oh my God, this is off the rails. Okay. Each episode of Columbo opens with the perpetrator of the crime plotting or enacting what they believe is an airtight murder before Lieutenant Columbo stumbles onto the scene and unravels their whole scheme with carefully asked questions and feigned incompetence. The mystery is never who did the crime, but how does Lieutenant Columbo catch the guest star of the week, which is known as a how catch 'em instead of a whodunit.
Yes, indeed.
Janet Leigh, Leonard Nimoy, Johnny Cash, Vincent Price, William Shatner, Faye Dunaway, Ian McShane, Pat Morita, and Julie Newmar have all crossed paths with Lieutenant Columbo, making the show itself a time capsule of the latter half of 20th century pop culture.
Which I think is really cool, actually.
I think so too. I love this show.
On my short list of episodes to propose watching, one of them was the Johnny Cash episode, but I decided kind of against that one because it is a little too, hey, we got Johnny Cash, and it's not as like Columbo as this one is.
A little too star powery.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes a ton of sense. But I was telling I was telling my very good friend Maddie Trumbo Gomes, who is the host of our queer film podcast Sneeple at the Movies, every other Thursday right here on InfinityBreak.net, telling stories our own way. I was telling them, because they had never watched it, about the history of the Muppet Show. And I was doing so by basically reading off a list of guest hosts.
Yes.
And
also Johnny Cash guest hosted that, right?
He sure was.
Yeah.
Correct.
But I basically prefaced it as, hey, were you popular between 1974 and 1979? Great news, you're on The Muppet Show. And I feel like that, but for decades, Columbo.
Yeah.
Instead of just one little tiny part of the 70s, it's 1968 all the way up to 2003, which is how you get multiple Star Trek actors and everyone who was in like old Hollywood and new Hollywood kind of all.
I mean, I want to say
together.
one of my favorite Columbo episodes is the Leslie Nielsen one. That's such a good one.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it's like Lady in Waiting is the name of it apparently.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's real good. It's one of my faves. I want to say that one has to be from season 1. Has to be.
Let me check. I actually opened up I opened up an article when I wanted a bunch of names of people who have been on the show.
I already found it. It's season 1, episode 5.
Oh, damn. Perfect.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we're watching season 4, episode 2, Negative Reaction. Acclaimed photographer Paul Galesko, played by Dick Van Dyke, plots an elaborate crime that allows him to pin the death of his wife on an ex-con that he met while doing an artistic study of San Quentin prison. While Galesko is able to account for the ransom letter, the bullet wound on his leg, his and his wife's schedules and disappearances, and his associations with the kidnapper, Galesko eventually slips after Lieutenant Columbo tricks him into identifying the camera used by the killer. You know, himself.
Oh, yeah, that's so good. That's the stuff. Rachel, I got a couple of questions for you.
Shoot.
My first question, I would like to know, why did you choose Columbo? Why Columbo?
Well, here's this is kind of crime stories, and we're, this season's trying to not be very cop-centric, which I agree with, like, fuck cops, ACAB, blah, blah.
Sure.
Just getting that out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about Columbo's attitude towards crime, the way that he handles and solves and does crimes, that I feel could garner a little bit of an exception, because 9 times out of 10, I think every single time, not even 9 times out of 10, it's always some kind of like rich person that thinks they can get away with it because they're so much smarter than Columbo.
Yep.
Also, Columbo famously does not carry a gun, does not know how to shoot, never has like handcuffs or arrests anybody, like physically taking them down. He just kind of has them come in his like shitty little car and like drives them off, if need be. And he just like, it's just a gentle policing, detectiving thing that, I don't know, it's like soothing and comforting, but you also see like his own disdain for like other cops. Like he can't fucking stand other cops.
Sure.
Which is great.
And also, every other cop except for him is a fucking idiot. So there's that.
Like he's a dipshit. Like all the other cops are like absolute dogshit dipshits that just want to close cases and don't want to figure out what actually happened. And especially, this episode in particular has our short king, Columbo, just be like, there's something not right. Like I gotta tie up some loose ends.
Right.
Our boy's got a hunch and he needs to see what's up.
Yeah.
I watched 2 episodes prior to this one, like a couple weeks ago, because I wanted to just dip my toe in it. And I did notice that, like, I mean, I know we have another question for Rachel, but I did notice, like, it's relatively gunless, definitely bloodless. There's not so much emphasis on like, now you're going to jail. It's just the arrest. I don't know. It feels, in comparison for what's to come vis-a-vis cop media.
Yeah.
I feel a lot better watching this one than I do like any CSI.
Sure. Well, I would this one certainly doesn't glorify cops. I'll say that. Does not put them in a good light.
No, he's basically like, all you fucking coworkers, just you're gonna let this rich guy get away with murdering 2 people.
Also, we're in season 4 at this point. Do they not understand that he's very good at what he does by now? Why are they still questioning him? Why are they still saying things like, oh, well, it's obviously this. Why are you pursuing this? Because he's fucking Columbo. He's been doing this for 4 seasons. He knows what he's doing. You know he knows what he's doing. That's rant over.
I mean, I know what you're getting at, and I know you're saying that like a little half jokingly, but I mean, is that not... I mean, that's the anthology format for you, isn't it?
Sure.
That he never, like, grows.
Yeah, no, I know. I understand that. That's why it is a joke.
Of course.
But also, his coworkers are idiots, so there's that.
Yeah, that too. Lesley, do we have a follow-up question for Rachel?
I definitely am burning to know, now that we know why you chose Columbo, why would you choose this up? Why negative reaction for us to watch?
So I had a short list of Columbo episodes that I wanted to, that I was whittling it down. And it was this one, it was Any Port in the Storm, the like wine guy one.
Oh yeah, that one was really good too.
An extremely good episode of Columbo. Let's see, this one, the Johnny Cash episode, and then the Vincent Price one. Like, I hadn't seen the Vincent Price one in a long time. I decided against the Vincent Price one because Vincent Price wasn't the murderer.
Well, which, like, you don't say.
Yeah. I mean, also, like, that's not really a spoiler. You find out who the murderer is in, like, the first 2 seconds of the episode.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you see a picture of the famous person on there, you're like, oh, that guy's a murderer.
It's that one.
Yeah, it's that guy.
Yeah.
And then the Johnny Cash one was a little bit too...
I have Johnny Cash.
Stargazy Johnny Cash. And so really it fell between this one and Any Port in a Storm. And Any Port in a Storm was a very close second because it has one of my favorite Columbo tropes of the murderer and Columbo become friends. Which like, the appeal of Columbo, and Tumblr will agree with me, is that like kind of a sloppy, neurodivergent man is just pestering around, and then sometimes he develops like a new special interest, and in Any Port in a Storm, his special interest becomes like rare and exotic wines, and that is how he catches like the Vintner, that what has done the crime. But they build rapport and friendship over like learning wine, and so it's an extremely good, highly recommend. If this gets you into Columbo, watch Any Port in a Storm. Great episode. I think that one's also a little bit longer. I think that's like an hour and 15 minutes or so too.
As I was doing my Googling, I saw that one come up in a bunch of suggestions of best episodes. So obviously you're along the right track. Donald Pleasance is the guest star in that one, who you may know as the doctor from the first 2 Halloween movies.
Oh, okay.
Dr. I want to say Loomis, who's like, Michael's out there. You can't let him get you.
Yeah.
I like Halloween 1979. So enough so that I know it came out in 78. My bad.
Yeah, nicely done.
Thank you.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, Rachel, we know who the killer is in like the first few seconds. This is obviously in a unique format in that we already know who the killer is at the very beginning, and we don't find out until later how Columbo manages to catch him. This cat and mouse thing is very enticing. So my fiance and I, Hector and I, have a little game that we play in which we, at the beginning, before we start the episode, we say, okay, I think Columbo is going to show up 12 minutes into the episode. And then I'll say, oh, I think he's going to be 14 minutes. And so we try and see who's closer and more right about when in the episode Columbo is going to appear. I mention this because we're recording a podcast episode that more than one person is going to listen to. And I want it known to anyone who listens that for this episode, I told Hector, I said it's a longer one. It's got Dick Van Dyke in it. I'm giving it a full 21 before he shows up. And Hector said, well, first he said 14, and then I gave him my spiel and said, I'm going to do a full 21.
You're like, Price is writing this.
And that's exactly, go by Price is Right rules. And so, then he tried to change his answer, and I was like, that's not fair. So we paused it when Columbo showed up, and wouldn't you believe it, 21 minutes and 30 seconds.
Heck
right
yeah.
Here. Right here.
Nice.
Folks, sound the Lesley alarm.
I just want multiple people to know about my rousing victory over my fiance. It's what's important here.
I was shocked when I watched the pilot. Yeah, Detective Columbo does not show up until 30 minutes on the dot.
Oh yeah. That's
pretty typical. Yeah.
Yeah, but that one, I feel like that one is the longest of any that I've ever seen.
First episode,
yeah, because I remember, I'll never forget. It was July 4th of 2022. Yes. And it was right night before my birthday, and I walked in, and Hector was watching something old, and I was like, "What is this? What are you watching?" He's like, "Oh, you'll see," and he'd never seen it either, so he didn't know when Columbo was showing. We're watching it, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" And he's like, "You'll see," and then 30 minutes later, Columbo showed up, and I was like, "It's Columbo. I've never watched this," and I'm
leaning over to my date. That's Columbo.
That's Columbo.
That's the Joker.
That's the Joker. You know what, Ben? It's fine.
It's Chappie.
Right. I'm sorry. You're right. The original is That's Chappie.
That's Chappie.
For some reason, I had it in my head that the original is That's the Joker from the 2019 Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
No.
I forgot the original is dumber.
That's what makes a good joke, is when it's just dumb as dicks.
Just dumb as dog shit. Oh boy.
I'm sorry,
right.
Rachel. I don't know if we heard in full why Dick Van Dyke specifically, other than it's Dick Van Dyke.
Like this was also like a good kind of example of like an Columbo episode, where he's just like a little pestery man,
mm-hmm.
And like you get to see him do some of like the hit Columbo things of eat a food, drive his dumb car. You don't see his dog, but he does talk about his dog in this one. I think he also talks about his wife. So you get like a lot of the good like Columbo lines.
If my wife was on the left and I was on the right, yeah.
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 No, like it's a very Columbo-y Columbo episode. And then, like I'd previously talked about Dick Van Dyke, vis-a-vis the Dick Van Dyke Show in the workplace comedy season, and I figured it'd be a fun little callback to DVD. Except this time he's playing a bad guy, and a real nasty bad guy too, like a real grossy, nasty bad guy, which is very out of very against type for America's most beloved 97-year-old.
God, yeah, he is still kicking in a way that shocks me.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was, like, at the Oscars.
Was he?
I think so. He just does stuff. He's still, like, doing stuff.
Well, yeah, he's still out there. He did the Oscars last night.
I'm 85% sure.
Yeah, he's, he is quite literally still up there and kicking. As recently as that Mary Poppins remake, he does a full dance number in the Mary Poppins 2 movie.
That's gotta be, that's CGI. He can't really do
it's probably not. He was like a dancer for forever. I would not be surprised if he did his own dancing.
Nope, CGI is 95. It's impossible. No, I believe it. He's still kicking, literally dancing, kicking, got it going on.
That being said, it sounds like the both of you are far more familiar with this television show than I am, having only watched 3 episodes myself. Literally, episode 1, episode 2, and this one.
I think that Rachel's probably the most well-versed because, as I said, back in last July is when I got into it, and we've been slowly watching, along that way. So you seem to be very well-versed.
I started watching it, I want to say, like, fall of last year, but I just kind of skip around a lot. I don't really have any, like, loyalty towards watching things in order, especially because this is just like every episode is like a little special. A little snack on its own.
Just a little snack.
And so, yeah, like, I'll skip around, on either the Tubi website or the Peacock app, whichever one will give me the least amount of hassle.
Sure.
And yeah, just pick whichever one looks like a fun time for me. But yeah, no, it's just a lot of scooting around. It's great for catching up on laundry. You don't really have to pay a lot of attention to a Columbo to know what's going on and to keep up with it.
Yeah.
And I know there's been, like, a Columbusance on Tumblr as well.
Sure.
Which is great. Like it's great to see a bunch of, like, 14, 15-year-olds watching a show that came out, or, that ended before they were born, with, landline phones and no computers, and still, find something in this. Like so much of what I enjoy about, like, older shows, and, like, older shows that have, like, a comedy element, or like a detective, or like a mystery setup to it, is, like, you have to do things the long way. There's some episode of Columbo, I think it might have been Any Port in a Storm, where he's, like, at a bar eating chili, which he is wont to do, and, like, he listens to the weather report and then has to get up, asks the bartender for, like, a nickel or something, and, like, goes to a payphone to call the operator and ask for the weather report. And it's like, I remember, like, using the phone at the house and, like, calling the weather line to see if it would rain today or something, like,
Ben,
and it's like, no, that's
this was real.
No, I'm fully aware.
Oh no, I didn't think you were doubting. It's just like,
Lesley
like
did.
the little minutia of like how much of a pain in the ass everything looked, and how much everything looks like it stinks. Like, you look at Columbo and you're like, you look like you smell bad. I love you. I hate you.
I love you, but you just look like you smell.
You need to go, like, your cigars are literally green. They look like a greeny chew toy. Like, please, you...
Yeah, and he's had that coat for a really long time. 7 years, he says.
In this episode, it says 7 years.
7 years, yeah.
So
he had it for at least 3.
Yeah.
So much of this episode was a nun dunking on Columbo repeatedly.
My goodness, I tell you what.
So fucking funny.
So I texted
There is no
Ben
false pride between friends. Right, but I
have a job. I look like this on purpose.
We don't... Oh, so you're undercover.
I appreciate what you're doing.
This was probably one of the silliest episodes of Columbo that I've seen, in terms of just sheer joke frequency and quality. The whole bit with the nun, the bit with his car, the license test,
the driving
taker
instructor thing.
Yeah, that's what you call him. Yeah, all of that. It was just the bits that were in this episode. I don't think I've seen in any other episode of Columbo.
I got 2 thoughts back to back addressing both of the things that just got brought up, but for continuity's sake, going straight into this one. I was going through this with my script editor brain, and I was thinking about a lot of, like, modern, especially television writing conventions. And I was thinking specifically about the fact that I was shocked and surprised to find out this episode was as long as it was. And I was thinking, like, especially during both of the scenes that you just mentioned, Lesley, the bit with the St. Matthew's mission and the bit with the driving instructor would 1000% be cut.
Oh yeah.
Those would not
so fast,
be.
Though, is the other thing. Like it was nice and zippy scene, but they would definitely get cut.
Neither of those would be in 2015's Columbo.
Right.
No.
Like those would be like, what? Why are we spending? Come on, get back to the mystery. This has to be within 50 minutes, like on the dot.
Right.
But that's just, I mean, maybe that's lamenting the loss of the television movie period. But also like those seem like, and again, I loved those scenes. I'm thinking purely through modern storytelling lenses when I say this.
Yeah.
That is absolutely like plot indulgence that a lot of TV just doesn't have time for.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I think part of it wasn't Columbo's time slot like 7 p.m. on Sunday, like a television dead zone, and so you just kind of need to fill something up for like Sunday evening.
Yeah. So they used to do like the mystery whatever night, and it was and Columbo. Then they would rotate amongst like 4 or 5 different ones, and it was like Columbo or something else. Obviously,
Columbo or like a big block of Murder, She Wrote, or something like that.
Yeah.
I almost included this in the lineup, but I mean the slightly more modern equivalent is Masterpiece, is PBS Masterpiece Theater.
PBS Masterpiece was on around the same time, like
and still going.
Started,
yeah,
still going. Because like Masterpiece will just have like whatever weird British on there. Do big shout out to that Edward Gorey animation sequence in the thing. Just warms the cockles of my goth teen heart every time I think of it.
No, I only meant PBS Masterpiece Theater just because that's still ongoing, and I think unless I'm really blanking on something, I think it's kind of the last of its kind in terms of like a time slot that'll just kind of fill whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's the slot that had like, there's Masterpiece Theater and then Masterpiece Mysteries, which came on after Masterpiece Theater. So it's like, you'd have your Downton Abbey, and you'd have like your Father John Brown mysteries afterwards, or something like that.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it's like kind of the last of its kind. Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, they really don't.
There's like that Fox animation block thing, but I'm also just not interested in that.
That also just doesn't entice me.
No, it's like that does not appeal to me. I do not seek it out anymore.
Sure. Right. And also, I mean, hell, once again about Masterpiece Theater, wouldn't know about Sherlock 2009 BBC were it not for the Masterpiece Theater, because that's how it aired in America for a bit.
Yeah, thanks for that.
And my life would have been for the better.
Yeah, I guess it would have. I was trying to think of a way in which I was involved, but I wasn't. So, no, my life.
No, I would still know.
You know what?
Would still know you because we met through Doctor Who.
Exactly. Let's not get me on this topic. Let's keep talking about Columbo.
That being said, the other thing I was going to touch back on was I know I love analog crime. I love. Well, I mean, I like the. I'm not like a retroactive, like obsessive with like look what they took from us bullshit.
Sure.
But I do love the kind of analog era of storytelling, but also of crime specifically. I mean, I was talking about this when we were covering the Sopranos episode. Sorry, Tony took over for exactly one word. But like the whole thing of like, as they're transitioning into like the cell phone era,
right,
like that kind of thing. It comes up a lot in Better Call Saul because he like attaches himself to all those like burner cell phones and all that kind of stuff. Like that's his whole shtick, is that he makes people call him through burners that can't be traced. That kind of stuff. I mean, people can still do that, but everyone's got a fucking like tracking device in their pockets now.
Right.
And I think it's so cool how like both in this and in the other Columbo episodes I watched, like someone tricked somebody else into placing a phone call to them so that the metadata of, it looks like you called this residence at 10 p.m. What were you doing then?
Right.
Like shows up on a record, and no one has access to the contents of the call, but they know a call happened, and that's enough. And same thing with I just rewatched Midnight Run last night, which is a movie I adore. Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin doing a cross country like comedy movie. It's a fun time. But absolutely they do a thing where somebody who's trying to track down Robert De Niro's character like calls up the credit card company and is like, hey, I don't remember what my last couple charges were. Could you tell me what they were? And like does that like reverse over the phone like phishing thing.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, oh, where was I? The blank hotel in Kansas? Okay. Go ahead and cancel that card for me. And does like that kind of like reverse sneaky shit. And it's the same thing with the phones and all that jazz. I love that kind of like the phishing, the metadata thing, it's all analog. Nothing's recorded, but somehow like the way we processed data back then and how we avoided surveillance back then is really interesting to me.
Yeah.
I mean, you only avoided it so much. Once a year a book would get delivered to everybody's house with like your full government name, your address, and your phone number in it.
Retroactively nuts to me. I mean, obviously I was alive for that, but like even so, like still so far removed, I'm like, God, people could know where I lived?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, they'd have to like bust out a whole big ass map to figure out where like in town your address was or like what that address meant.
Sure.
But
right.
They could figure out.
But they knew what it was.
They knew 123 Fake Street was where you lived.
That's where you lived. And you have to consider too, like there had to have been like a little bit of overlap when, they hadn't caught on yet that maybe sending that information
I still get a phone book delivered to my door every year.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I haven't figured out how to stop it.
That's incredible.
Thinking about the Seinfeld episode where Kramer goes to the post office and he's just like, I want you to turn off my mail. And they're like, well, we can't do that. What about your letters? He's like, I don't want to turn off the mail. Stop sending me stuff.
Off the mail, Kramer.
No, I think that obviously that era of technology is fascinating, but also I think the transition period as we all started getting not just individual phones, but individual like smartphones as well. I like no shit. I think we lost a lot of like writing conventions.
I completely agree with you.
To that,
I completely agree with you, and that's one of the reasons why it's so delightful to watch stuff like this from this era.
I know I literally just mentioned Seinfeld, but how many like sitcom episodes are based entirely on we miscommunicated, but I can't call them now because I don't know if they're home, kind of.
Right, or whatever.
That's a whole genre called farce.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
We lost farce when the smartphone came in. Now we just get yelled at on Twitter. Oh well.
Oh well.
We lost farce, but now we know about everyone's farts.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you think.
Really makes you think. Shower thoughts.
Sorry, that was the best joke I could do.
It was beautiful.
It was good.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. No, sorry. Dick Van Dyke wasn't on the Oscars. He was on Masked Singer recently.
Worse. Let the man sleep.
Really?
Yeah. No. I will drop a link in chat so I don't necessarily spoil anything more than that. But yes, he was recently a contestant on The Masked Singer, a show I used to really enjoy, and just really stopped off watching it.
Oh wow!
I would say it's the weirdest thing I've ever done, says the man who was in Mary Poppins.
Twice.
Twice.
Wow.
What was I gonna say?
I don't know. What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, it just it's nice when the story gets to breathe. I guess that's what I was getting at with my first point. It's just that they leave in rooms for like a weird 5-minute back and forth between Columbo and a driver's ed teacher.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I feel like either, again, if this were written more modernly, that would either be somebody walks into the scene at the start of a scene saying, I just got off the phone with the driving instructor, and
right.
It would be
didn't need any of that.
It would be not shown and only alluded to. And it would be filmed entirely as like a kind of a close dialogue shot. He says that Mr. What was the name of the fake murderer?
Oh, starts with CH.
Dashenko?
Yeah, I think so. Wait. Rachel, do you remember the name of the guy, the patsy?
Let's see. Deschler. Alvin
Deschler.
Someone would absolutely come into the scene. Hey, I just got off the phone with blah, 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 blah. Turns out Alvin Deschler was actually at a blank at 10 a.m. on a Thursday or whatever.
Right,
and,
right.
You know, that would be filmed entirely in like close-up dialogue shots, and we would not get like 5 minutes of Lieutenant Columbo almost giving a poor driver's ed teacher a panic attack because of his reckless driving or whatever. It would either be that, or the scene, or the script would just be rewritten so that there was never any driver's ed teacher at all. And and they would figure out
and
the
he found out some other way. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm lamenting the loss of the TV movie, or I'm just talking about like script writing in general or whatever.
Right.
I just, that would not fly, and I wish it still flew.
Right.
I can appreciate the kind of like long-windedness of this show. Sincerely, I'm being sincere.
Yeah. No, and Columbo is also like one of just generally the most popular shows that has ever existed, like internationally.
Nuts, huh?
Yeah. No, it's great to like, just think about this show that was like, I think, what is it? I know there's a big Columbo and his dog statue in Hungary, but like at one point, was it Ceausescu who was like in charge of Romania at the time? But like somebody in the state media stopped like rerunning Columbo, and then there was like actual big protest. I could be conflating that with something else. Let me Google that real quick.
Yeah.
The Onion AV Club, posted an article about it. So I do believe that this is true. People in Romania, for example, were huge fans. So much so that in 1974, when Columbo episodes for that season ran out, the populace protested, and the Romanian government reached out to Falk himself. Why is there a banner ad blocking my text that I'm reading? To try and stem an uprising.
Wow.
I get it.
Wow.
I get it. I've only seen 3 episodes and I get it.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
Like, you just want something like soothing and fun, and like this little smelly looking man.
Yeah.
Oh, now I remember a thing I was going to say earlier, which is the scene in which he is showing up at that crime scene for the first time, and noticeably he spends a lot of time looking at that clock.
Yeah.
I know it technically doesn't matter from a forensic standpoint, but the fact that he was just like smoking gallons of smoke into the air in a crime scene, I was just like, no, stop, you're going to ruin it.
That was just the thing back then, man.
That was just the thing back then.
Style. That was just the thing. Yeah.
Look, again, I was watching Midnight Run last night. There was not a single scene in that movie where De Niro is not smoking in an airport.
Yep.
Nuts.
You can still do that in Atlanta if you go into the hot box.
All right.
Oh, yeah, the like Delta Premium smoke zone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the stuff. Come out smelling like a trucker's ashtray.
Sorry, I'm very proud of myself that I remembered that Ceausescu, I think that's how you say it, was the dictator of Romania at the time. I'm just
so proud
posting
of
my links to sources in the chat.
That definitely made you sound smarter than I've ever sounded on this podcast. I'll give you that. I've never sounded that smart. Fuck. Yeah, I gotta start just saying smart shit.
Leslie and I fly by vibes mostly on this show, so it's nice when we have a sourced article.
Oh, see, I have like negative vibes. Not like my vibes are bad, but I just have like very low charm. And I skate by on fun facts. So
that's why you're being such
that's what
great,
I got.
Such great friends.
No, it's a extremely popular show globally. Like, I think it was also like extremely popular in Japan. And yeah, just a great show. Like, it really doesn't seem to be a show that would need a lot of like cultural translation either. Like, everybody loves the slobs versus snobs. Everybody loves like when the like little dude like wins big.
Sure.
It's like I was saying earlier, it's like you don't need to pay a lot of attention to get a lot out of an episode of Columbo.
Right.
And it's just it's at such a like TV. Smooth pace.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, like I can see why it would be wildly popular. You know, it just makes sense.
It just makes sense. It just works.
Yeah. And you know, you can't really like undersell just the appeal of Peter Falk. This like guy who I cannot tell if he is hot or if he is like an ugly puppy or if he's ugly puppy hot.
He's hot. I'm just gonna say it, but I'm a weirdo, so
you're totally fine. Taste is taste. You know, everybody's got their thing.
I'm sorry, fuzzy on this. Sorry.
Yeah. No, like no, but it's like he has a glass eye, and that is like what is interpreted as like the Columbo squint is like no, he's trying to like hold a prosthesis in place.
Right.
And that is charming in and of itself, and like really does kind of add to the character, but also does explain why he's bad at driving. That there's like some depth perception issues.
Sure.
Entirely possible, yeah.
Sure.
We're talking about international appeal. If this Wikipedia article is to be trusted, the show itself has been broadcast in 44 countries.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if that is like more or less than the number of countries that did Everybody Loves Raymond.
What? No,
is that
there's
a particularly internationally
barometer.
Popular show?
Yeah, there's like Everybody Loves Raymond is one of those shows that they like translated and repackaged in like a lot of non-English speaking countries to like it was I don't remember if it was really popular, if they really tried hard for it in Russia.
Everybody Loves Raymond wins by a lot.
Okay.
It's shown dubbed or subtitled in 148 countries.
There's only 190.
I guess most of them have it. Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, I guess everybody really does. Everybody really does.
If I remember correctly, there's like 195 countries, period. That's so funny.
Jesus Christ.
That's one of our uniting factors as a human race.
Thank you for this fact. I'm so happy I know it now.
That's really funny.
That's really funny.
I was gonna say I think everything has to be kind of very everything has to be very international now. Everything's got to play to every market.
Yeah.
And so it's wild when something from almost near 50 years ago happens to have that international appeal without trying for it.
Well, and I think it's what you were saying is it is a very analog kind of story. Like you don't need to know a lot about it doesn't get into the weeds of like US law or like little bitty bits here and there. It's pretty broad as far as like it's a murder not murder is crime. Yeah, all around.
And again, relatively the few episodes that I've seen, it's not like he's like, great, now we've busted him on conspiracy to fraudulently, they don't cite the law.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, obviously a murder.
Yeah, obviously murder.
There's no
easy peasy. Yeah.
Great, now we've got him on falsifying evidence, wiretapping, conspiracy to defraud a bank. None of that. It's literally just like, yeah, he killed someone. Done.
Yeah. And like you get like the little hero detective, not a cop, not a gun guy. So like, in countries where like guns or violence are like much more of a taboo than like in the US, you don't have to worry about like, oh, how do we edit all these guns out? It's like, I think in this episode there was the same Luger pistol shown twice, but you never see it fire. You hear like a bang, and you see like honestly the worst bruise makeup any middle schooler has ever done on Dick Van Dyke's leg.
Right.
But yeah, you don't really see a lot of blood or gore. I think the episode where he's on a cruise ship, you see a little bit more blood. Right. But like Columbo does not handle blood, which is also in this episode of him just like, I can't stand the sight of it. Like, with that tiny little, like, abrasion.
Right.
Yeah, 15 years on the force, and I never got used to looking at that or whatever he says.
I still can't look at it, I think. Yeah, this was such a weird, quirky, delightfully silly episode. Sillier than most of the Columbo episodes I've seen, which I really loved. I had not seen this one before, so I was delighted to get to see the Dick Van Dyke one. I was so excited when that was the one that Rachel chose. So thank you for choosing it. And it's just it's one of the silliest ones I've seen, and I loved that about it. I was in for such a fun ride.
Yes, thank you immensely for bringing this to us. I texted my dad about it. I texted my dad, letting him know, because there's a chance, since he's not on Tumblr, that he didn't know this.
Sure.
But I told him, Dad, did you ever watch Columbo? Because there's weirdly a resurgence of people getting really into Peter Falk in the year 2022 and 23.
Which I gotta say, I'm so glad that I don't know what made Hector decide to watch it. I don't know. But I got into the show around when this was happening online, and the fan art is so good.
The fan art is wild.
I love all the little like chibi cutesy Peter Falk drawings.
Yeah, there's this one person that I follow on Twitter who posts, their ad is ShrimpGF, who posts their fan art of Columbo and his wife. Like, has decided what his wife looks like to them in her head. And she's like this, round woman with like a brunette ponytail with bangs, and it's really cute. And one time they drew this thing that's like all the things that she's into based on what Columbo said. It's like she likes sports. She's like her with like a tennis racket. It's so cute.
She likes sports. She loves
adorable.
Country music. She enjoys cruises and vacations. Yeah.
It's really cute.
She makes Columbo go do all the grocery shopping.
Yeah.
It's wild how much this has come back, but I was telling my dad that people are getting back into it. I'm not going to quote him verbatim because that was a private text, but he said that he remembered the show and that he liked it a lot, and then also told me, "Did you hear they're bringing back Night Court?" Which is a very dad text.
Oh, of course.
Thank you, thanks, Dad. But I was explaining to him, I was like, I don't know why kids are latching onto this. I think that a lot of what we would definitely, if we're being really pedantic about like genre and how we describe genre, I think Columbo and Murder, She Wrote and a bunch of shows of that kind of category are definitely capital D detective shows, and I think they've gotten replaced over time with forensic shows.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're less about placing the right phone calls and more about finding stray hairs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Also like feeds into the like forensic shows, and this is a strongly held opinion I have that is based on vibes only.
Sure.
So please don't tell me that I'm wrong. I'm not interested in being wrong about this.
I will not give you a Columbo cross-examination.
But I really feel like detective shows, to an extent, are less propaganda than like forensic shows.
Yes.
Because forensic shows really set up this like idea that like, oh well, if the cops are fucked up, like the forensics lab, the nerds, they'll figure it out, they'll take care of it. And they're in there doing their science, and like, blood splatter forensics is real, and like hair matching is real, and they definitely check every single sexual assault kit that comes in all the time immediately.
Right. The very wrong assumption that A, half of forensics is real, but also B, the universal laws of science are behind this conviction, so it must be just and good.
And I was like, they're gonna test all of these drugs fairly and accurately and not be like, it looks like coke. We could test that with chemicals, or we could just do some and see what it does.
I think forensics largely takes kind of, I think forensic storytelling makes it stop being a puzzle.
Yeah.
Because we can't figure that out.
That's true.
We, the people that are watching along, are not able to figure out. Like, they just tell us, yes, the hair matched 98%.
That's so true. You're absolutely right.
Whereas watching an episode of Columbo, like when it shows a close-up shot of that clock being bumped at the beginning, we, the viewer, can be like, oh shit, I bet that's going to be what comes back later. Why is he rewinding the clock, or retiming
adjusting
the clock?
time?
Setting the clock. There we go. Why is he setting the clock to a different thing? Like, we can puzzle that out. We can figure it out. Whereas, like, so many of these forensic shows, it's just like, it is flatly stated, well, the hair matched. And, like, we couldn't piece that together. That's,
Sure.
That's a kind of writing that doesn't allow the viewer to kind of come along with it. It's just telling the viewer what happened.
Yes,
and then
correct.
you see Columbo in this episode interact with the forensics guy who's like taking the fingerprints, is like, yeah, I just got all these fingerprints, it's definitely this guy. He's like, but then he looks at the set, the clock you were just talking about, and notices that like everything in that whole place has, like, in that whole country house, has like an inch thick layer of dust, except for this clock. And it's not clean under the clock. There's still that like thick layer of dust under it. And it's like, so that, like him, like, literally reading the room for clues being a much more accurate investigation technique than, the myth of fingerprints that, everybody has, like, perfectly individual fingerprints and da-da-da-da.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think one of those is a lot more conducive to, like, audience engagement, because then we can follow along or maybe even run ahead of the mystery a little bit.
Yeah.
Like perhaps during one of those scenes where he's spending 5 minutes terrorizing a local driver's ed teacher.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, like, why in my conversation with my dad, I was thinking, like, why is Poker Face and so popular? Why are people coming back to shows like Columbo and Murder, She Wrote? And it's like, I think we just genuinely miss that genre. Yeah. It's like like in the same way it's been pointed out by other people that, like, Pirates of the Caribbean takes off like 15 years after they stopped making Indiana Jones movies, because we just kind of miss that, like, swashbuckly shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, there are genres that have, like, faded ever so slightly out of the zeitgeist, and we miss that shit. We want
we're
it
still
back.
The same people. We want it back.
Yeah. Humans long to solve a little puzzle.
Right?
You long to solve a little puzzle. You long to see like rich people get some comeuppance. Mm-hmm. You want to see the little goblin man and the horrible little car, like, do good. And you want to see this guy that fucking hates cops probably, like, the one job that any kind of policing force should be doing, which is fucking detective. Sorry, like, like,
no, I mean, I think that is why people are latching onto it.
Yeah. And it's maybe it's the backlash to the like true crime thing, where it's like, no, we want false crime, we want fake crime, we want murder, but nobody is actually murdered, and we want to know that nobody's going to get super hurt or anything. Right. But it's just a gentle hour and a half with like a charming older person with, like, soothing-ish music.
Heightened by very theatrical acting, like literally the theater acting.
Yeah, and then maybe Rue McClanahan shows up for a little bit. Maybe we get, like, a tight little Golden Girls moment.
Right. Yeah.
Or Donald Pleasance. Years before he's in Halloween. Also, the very theatrical acting I meant to mention very much makes it feel like I'm watching, like, an Agatha Christie stage play or whatever.
Oh yeah. Not to mention, while we're on the subject of the acting, man, the killer's wife was such a bitch. She was such a
extremely such a little, like,
she was the worst person,
little lady. I love it.
As I was writing the plot summary, I was like, I almost victim blamed because I was like, what? Hold on, let me pull up the script.
If anyone...
Acclaimed photographer Paul Galesko, played by Dick Van Dyke, plots an elaborate crime that allows him to pin the death of his, and I almost wrote frustrating wife.
And I
was like, no, wife. I need to delete that. That
really
makes me sound like
had it coming. But I think that what appeals to me about this episode of Columbo, which is this appeals to me about all episodes of Columbo, but this one in particular with the caricatures of, you know, the wily mustache twisting killer and his shrew of a wife, is its similarity to like the old EC Comics crime suspense stories. Like, you know, I love that about Columbo, and this episode nailed it so well.
Oh, I was, speaking of, like, EC comic stuff, I was thinking of, like, what else does this, as I was researching, like, what else does this feel like, this runaway success of a character, and then I was like, oh, it's Batman. It's Detective Comics used to be an anthology, and then they wrote an issue called The Batman, and they were like, never mind, this is what we're doing now.
Never mind, we're doing this now. Pivot.
Sorry, fuck all the other shit. Batman's our guy. Anyway. All. So really, Columbo is the Batman of our time.
So
Columbo is, you know, a relatable Batman. Like, you know, he doesn't have all the bullshit. I don't think that I think he would crawl out of his own skin if he had a butler.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He wouldn't even take the coat at the homeless shelter. Come on.
No, because he has a perfectly good 7-year-old coat.
7-year-old coat.
To?
He doesn't.
Yeah. And also he lives in fucking LA. What does he need? This raincoat that's busted is from his smoking.
Very comfortable. It's comfortable.
Yeah. No, it's his sensory protection coat.
Sure.
No, but like I was listening to a Peter Falk radio interview from like the, you know, early 2000s or so, like right after the end of Columbo, before he I think right after he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, you know, before he finished doing Columbo, right after he finished doing Columbo. And at one point in the interview, he's like, you know, the interviewer is like, so, you know, how do you like doing Columbo? Like, what's the thing? It's like, oh, I love doing Columbo. You know, really, you know, in the years I've been doing it, I've only had, you know, he and I have only gotten in one disagreement. He didn't mind that I stopped smoking cigarettes, but he wanted me to keep smoking cigars. And I was like, and then the interviewer was like, so what happened? Is like, well, I quit smoking cigars. And he was like, yeah, I noticed that you just carried the cigar, but you don't have it lit. It was like, good for you. Good for you, Detective Columbo. Eventually you did quit smoking those disgusting, like, they're literally green. I do not know how this man thinks these, like as somebody that, you know, does smoke cigarettes, like, there's something so nasty about, like, cigars generally. And then, like,
you don't like to smoke a stick?
And like, these are fucking green. They don't look fun. And it's, like, my man, you have detective money.
Yeah.
You should get nicer cigars.
And a nicer car and a nicer coat.
And nicer everything.
No.
Except for your dog and your wife. Those are great.
Why would he get another car?
I'm unqualified to weigh in as someone who smoked exactly one time. So
yeah.
I think that maybe wraps up everything I've got to say about our beloved detective. I'm realizing I didn't actually have a ton to say on the specific episode, more like the show itself.
Sure.
And the genre.
This episode was the tortilla chip upon which we placed the salsa of Columbo. So
yeah, no, that's extremely accurate, because like, you know, how it's very difficult to just talk exactly about one episode of Columbo, because, you know, it's such a, like, legacy and cultural impact of it. You know, the recent episode about the Sopranos, a lot of it was talking about, like, the impact of the Sopranos, not, you know, not necessarily like the guys in the Pine Barrens.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the tortilla chip upon which we placed the salsa of the Sopranos. I'm telling you.
I'm liking this metaphor. I know I made a sarcastic Italian
I didn't take that as sarcasm at all. I took it as the compliment it was intended to be.
I'm leaning further into this now.
Because when you're talking about, genre, you always end up talking about examples of the genre and sub-genre in there. And so like the Who Catch 'Em is a sub-genre of crime.
Sure.
Or mystery, or however the overlap of crime and mystery.
Sure.
Right. And yeah.
Oh, by the way, I think one of the, I guess not to get too into the meta weeds of it all, but one of the reasons I pitched, although there was very little argument from Lesley at all over covering this show, because obviously they're
Sure.
a fan.
Huge fan.
But I did bring up a lot of people say it counts more as a crime show and less of a detective show, since we do see it's always from the killer's end first. And then Detective Columbo rolls in a little later.
Sure.
Which, blurs the lines a little bit, technically.
Yeah. Well, we've also, I feel like in every season we've done at least one show that's blurred the lines, just a little bit of what, it's fine. It's our show. We can do whatever the fuck we want. Doesn't matter.
Sure. Absolutely.
That's very true.
Doesn't matter.
Speaking of
Who doesn't want to talk about Columbo? Who doesn't want to hear about Columbo? Give me a break.
It's
No,
the zeitgeist. You gotta get that Columbunny.
Yeah. I'll put my whole Columbo-y into this.
And just one more thing. Before you put your whole Columbus into it.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to cut down a lot of this bird squawking I'm doing.
Oh,
no. Rachel, there's a reason you're on the show. You're free.
Oh, boy.
I am free. I'm very...
So free. So free.
Folks, I think this might wrap up our discussion on the legendary television detective Columbo. I will, of course, before we get into our social medias and all that jazz, ask each of you, hey, this is pretty comedic. What were y'all favorite jokes?
Oh, man. Like I said, there were the two really good bits with the nun thinking that he was homeless and the driving instructor who thought that he was the worst driver in the entire world. So a lot of jokes in this one. But I have to say that my favorite was the little running gag that he did. That was a part 1 and a part 2, where he's talking about how he was taking photographs for like his niece's wedding, and then he's going to his brother-in-law's 20-year wedding anniversary. He wants to take some. Can you pop in and take some pictures? Like the way that he used this ridiculous story to extort information from the killer, from Dick Van Dyke, was funny and amazing. That's my favorite.
Really was. I think that mine, God, barely even a joke. It was just the way he said when the camera store employee tells him about reverse negatives, where it was just the way he set down like that whole cardboard standee and went, "Wow, learn something new every day." Wasn't even a joke.
No, just a real like
delivery.
Dadism is great.
Yes.
Absolutely slaps his hands together after paying the bill and goes, all right, let's rock and roll.
My favorite joke, and I think I said it earlier, but it's still my favorite, is when he's asking the murderer if he has any pin up for his dog. Like, he literally calls asking for like a Cocker Spaniel pictures, like a pin up for my dog.
Pin-up. Yeah,
like when he's asking for like dog porn.
Yes.
I had to like pause it and like walk away from the computer and like hoot and holler for a couple of minutes.
One of
right
many wonderful bits.
Right after that, he immediately is like, I'm sorry, that's a silly idea. Forget that I said that. Immediately cuts back to Dick Van Dyke just going, I will, Lieutenant.
I will. Oh, that was good. You know what, Rachel, your joke is amazing, because I also remember he was like, he'll know it's not her. He'll know it's not her. Like, that's the reason.
Yeah. No, he'll know it's fake. He'll know that his, like, girlfriend wasn't sending him, like, lewds in the mail. Because, like, here, it was back in the day, you had to, like, take the picture and, like, get it developed at, like, a photomat. And then, a week later, pick up the picture and then get a, like, envelope and all that and, like, mail it off. Like, it was, like, a 2-week turnaround to see, like a butt picture from somebody you were interested in. Like, yeah, no.
Thank God for the Polaroid, then. Some poor lab tech employee didn't have to
We'll have to see a picture of a dog. Yeah. Oh, I mean, they definitely saw lots of other stuff. Talk to anyone that's worked in like a photo lab, and they will. Yeah, it's a lot.
Folks, rather Rachel directly, I guess. I was addressing the audience. I meant to address you. Rachel, thanks so much for coming back on the show.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, anytime.
And thank you for choosing Columbo.
Yeah, bummed we weren't able to have you on for season 2, but obviously you're more than welcome back anytime. Thank you for bringing this
is great.
Little man.
This
little
like, gremlin man in his little gremlin coat.
Well, and also like I think I don't want to undersell like how important it is that they have Dick Van Dyke in this role. Like Dick Van Dyke playing a bad guy, Dick Van Dyke who is extremely funny. Like, yeah, no, you there's a lot of meat on the bone of like doing weird jokes with mean Dick Van Dyke.
Right.
And a little goblin man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Folks, well actually Rachel, go ahead. Where can people find you and the things that you do?
Let's see. So you can find me online at Rachel the C on all platforms, and you can find the what I do with the rest of my time also at Fight Opera on all platforms. It is a Austin-based comedy wrestling group. We've got a show coming up if you're in the Austin area on April 1st at Pink Flamingo Plant Company. Look us up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of good stuff.
Awesome. And hey, folks, maybe a little something else down the line.
Yeah.
Folks, you can find me, Ben Hamlin, at Ben C. Hamlin pretty much anywhere. Sufficient Owls pretty much anywhere else. I stream on Twitch twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. And of course, you can check out my paranormal podcast, Parascience, which comes out every other Tuesday.
You can find me on Twitter at Vanetti, Vanetti. You find me pretty much, I think pretty much everywhere there. Vanetti Magic on Instagram, but I don't post there. Just look me up on Twitter. That's the easiest thing to do.
Mm-hmm. And what a presence. Folks, you can check out infinitybreak.net, where we're telling stories our own way. You can check out all of our work, including our companion podcast, Sneeple at the Movies, right here on infinitybreak.net or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you very much for listening to Syndicated with Lesley and Ben. We got a solid, we're only 3 episodes into the season. We got a solid 10 left. We got a lot of crimes and criminals ahead of you.
Hell yeah.
But I'm so glad we got to talk about Columbo. Thank you again, Rachel.
Me too. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Yeah, anytime.
What's next for us? We don't know.
We don't know. We'll figure it out.
But we promise something interesting. All right. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Thanks for listening.
See you later.
Oh, just one more thing. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. It's at Syndicated WLAB. That's all. All right. Bye, everyone, for real this time.